Good morning. Today is Sunday, April 20th. It is Easter, and it is Easter for everyone. Normally I have to specify if it's Western Easter or Orthodox Easter, but today it falls on the same day, and it's so exciting. We are going to go over to my partner's family's house, who they are Greek Orthodox. So, Christos Anesti to anyone who is watching who is also Greek Orthodox. Um, I don't necessarily know exactly why they don't fall on the same day all the time. I do know that there are certain parameters that have to be met that are not the same for the Gregorian calendar. Passover has to happen. There's something about a full moon. I believe it has to happen the Sunday after a full moon. I think there's three different buckets it has to hit. I should probably know this. I do have this on a chopstick, but I don't. And if I find something interesting, I'll put in a little blurb about it. I think things are going to be a little different today. I would like to start off with life stuff first, because I think it just kind of gets you into my frame of mind and what's going on with me. But if you're totally not interested in it, that's totally fine. I will put in a timestamp so that you can skip to the next section. Okay, so life stuff. Unfortunately, our financial situation has changed. My partner lost his job. He was given severance, and that severance has run out. We definitely thought that he would be able to find a new job by now. But the reality of the job market right now is it's really tough, even if you are an engineer with over 10 years of experience. And that really bummed me out. And my crafting suffered because of it. I was just in a funk because I was like, well, I can't buy anything, and I'm not liking anything that I'm knitting on right now. And I was just in like a grumpy mood about it for a while. Financially, we're going to be okay. I am able to carry the bills without having to go into our savings. And, you know, that in itself is such a privilege that complaining seems ridiculous. And I know we're all human and we all have emotions and we all kind of handle things differently. But I almost didn't want to talk about it because it felt so stupid compared to so many other things that are happening in America, in the world. But I think it does help you get into my frame of mind right now. It's just, even though I don't buy a lot of yarn and I don't spend a lot of money on my crafts, the fact that I can't right now is what makes me sad. um and it comes down to is I'm just not finding joy in what I'm knitting right now. And that happens. It's okay. So that's what's happening with life. Upcoming events for me are Maryland Sheep and Wool and Yarn Centric. Those are two things that I absolutely love to do. They're yarn festivals in Maryland. They're my home festivals. Yarn Centric is more indie dyers, and Maryland Sheep and Wool is more established commercial brands. There are some indies, don't get me wrong, but I do know that Maryland Sheep and Wool is very expensive, and there's a ton of vendors. So I think they have to limit how many people could come. And I do think they prioritize Maryland vendors over other vendors from other states. So I am still planning on going to Maryland Sheep and Wool. Well, perhaps Maryland Sheep and Wool. I'm still planning on going to Yarn Centric, and that's because I have a free ticket. Shout out to Nitty Natty. I was able to get a free admission to the festival for the 12 to 2 slot because the event organizers of Yarn Centric were giving away 50 free tickets to Nitty Natty's followers. Anybody that wanted one could claim one via email, and that was incredible. So thank you to the Yarn Centric team for extending that offer, and then also thank you to Nitty Natty for putting that out there for anybody that wanted it. So we'll be going to Yarn Centric. I don't want to be spending money right now. That being said, this is something that I look forward to all year long, and I don't want to say, no, you can't do this thing that you look forward to all year long because something unfortunate happened. I'm not going to be spending like I have in years past. That's a given. But I'm also not going to tell myself that you can't do something that you love to do. I have a PayPal account that's directly linked to my pattern sales, and anything in there I'm going to use. I'm not going to put anything on a credit card because it is not worth going into debt over yarn. And I will just put my blinders on walking past Daedalus and Thread and Maple because I don't need any of that right now. It's okay, right? Like, it's okay. I'm probably going to pick up, well, let's get into what's happening, right? I don't know. I have plans of things that I would like to pick up if it turns out to be the right time, the right fit. But I guess that's what's going on. Like, I'm a little bummed and things are gonna be a little tight, and I'm not gonna have very many acquisitions to show you guys for a while. And that's okay. We're gonna be just fine. I have to keep reminding myself that, like, you are so privileged. You are so privileged. You have to look at it through that lens. And I was putting together a yarn tracker, and I was looking at what I bought over the last year. And I spent less than $100 a month over the last year. And to me, it's like, girlfriend, you don't even buy that much yarn. Why are you so upset? And I think it's just the fact that it's like a toddler, right? You tell them they can't do it, so they want to do it. And I guess I'm stuck in that mentality as well. But I'm feeling much better. I've actually looked at like the data. I'm such a logical, analytical person that when I saw what I bought over the last year and framed it, like, we're going to be just fine. And I have plenty of yarn. I have so much fingering weight yarn. I could just knit socks for the next year and still have a ton of leftover yarn. So we're good to go on that. Let's move into finished objects. I do have one. I have showed it on some of my like mini podcast episodes, but not on the full podcast. So I'm going to just break it out really quickly and show you guys. I'm not going to put it on. It is way too hot. And I know I'm wearing a thermal, but that thing is warm. Superwash wool makes me so warm. All right, here she is. in all her glory. I did say that it was running, like the red ran a little bit, that coppery color, and you can kind of see that. But I will say that when I went to block it the second time after I finished the second sleeve, I was able to get a lot of that dye out, that excess dye. So I think with repeated washing, you're not going to be able to see it in 2 or 3 washes from now. So I'm really excited about it. I do really like it. It fits nicely. Especially if I keep going to the gym and losing a little bit of weight, it will have that extra ease that I really wanted. I should have made the next size up. I always should make the next size up, and I never do. And then I'm like, I wish this had more ease. And that's on me. It's because I'm never going to get stitch gauge. And I know that I'm not going to get stitch gauge. And yet I still make the size that I should be making for myself. Dumb. But you live and you learn, or in my case, you don't learn. Okay, so that's my only finished object. Let's go into my works in progress. And we're going to go through these quickly because you've already seen them and I've not made a ton of progress on anything. First up is my Calm Down cardigan. So the last time you saw this on the podcast, I was at that marker. So I was able to knit a couple inches and put on the ribbing at the bottom. So quite a bit done on this. And instead of starting the button band, I started the sleeve instead. And I was able to finish this insanely aggressive sleeve cap, but it fits so nicely. I'm honestly so excited about how this is looking. And I did that because one, I already had the needles available and I didn't have to go digging for my 3.5s to start the button band. Two, I only had a very small amount of yarn left. So this is my third ball or third skein of yarn, hank, whatever you want to call it. And I was able to just do this little sleeve cap. Also, the instructions say to pick up more stitches than are available for the button band. I've never done a double knit button band before. I've actually never knit. That's not true. I was going to say I never knit a cardigan. I have knit a cardigan, just one. But it didn't have a double knit button band. And I understand in theory what I need to do about picking up the stitches for the button band. But I looked at the schematic of how Lily Kate writes how to pick up the stitches, and it just confused me. I wasn't in the right headspace. So picking up stitches for the sleeve, no problem. And then when I'm a little bit more focused and have some time to dedicate to this, I will be picking up the stitches for the button band. But all in all, I'm very, very pleased with this. It's slow going because it's so simple. It's so boring to me to knit just stockinette. I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me. But I'm very happy with the Calm Down cardigan. I think it's going to be a wardrobe staple. So quickly, I'm gonna go through the Musselburgh hat by Ysolda Teague and the Camisole number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitware. Both of them got about an inch or two of stockinette in the round. So it's not very exciting, but I'll show you. The first one I grabbed was my Camisole number 9. And I mean, that's it, right? That's all that's happening. I was here at this yellow stitch marker. I was here. So I've knit, what is that, like an inch? That's it. That's all I've done. I'm just not with the stockinette in the round right now. Unless I'm reading or I'm intently watching a movie or something, it's just not something that I really enjoy doing. I like turning on that part of my brain that's like, oh, this is complex. And then here is the Musselburgh hat. So I got about 2 inches done on this because I think the last time we chatted, I was right at the decrease section. So about 2 inches on that. It's slow going. I don't want or need this done until fall. So I have some time. Okay. Not a finished object, but I will show you, and also not a work in progress. So it's kind of both. Is I have my 3 braid spin singles complete. So I'm going to show you individually each of them. This one I spun straight from the braid. This one I split into 3 separate sections. And this one I spun from 4 separate sections. So this one's the confetti tweed. This fiber is from Yarn Jam. It is the Marlene Knits colorway. I find it absolutely beautiful. This tweed, though, was crazy. I will never spin tweed again. No, there's nothing wrong with this fiber. I don't want to deter anyone from getting this fiber. It's Shiniko, which is a Merino Rambouillet cross sheep. It's very soft. It's very lofty. It's not my favorite fiber in the world, but it's a beautiful fiber and it spins very, very nicely. This is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But as someone who spends an inordinate amount of time while spinning, smoothing out slubs and making sure that my yarn is extremely consistent, this is supposed to have slubs. It threw me through the ringer, and I don't know why I didn't think about that to begin with, but I didn't. And about had a conniption spinning this, but it is done. It is really cool. My goal with this was to 3-ply these together. This tweed is substantially thicker than these 2 non-tweedy yarns. And because of that, I'm not going to 3-ply them together. I don't think this will make a balanced yarn. I also think that the amount of white in this, because of the tweed was with a white fiber, is going to throw off these beautiful colors a little bit. So I'm going to chain ply this. And if I can get my act together, I'm going to take you out to the living room and I'm going to show you how I make my chain ply ball, because I do not like to ply on the fly, which means ply at my wheel. I don't like to do that. I don't like to chain ply at my wheel. I don't mind any other plying, but I won't chain ply. So I'll take you out to my living room. I'll show you how to make a chain ply ball, or how I make a chain ply ball. It might not be the way you do, and that's totally fine. So I'm going to chain ply this. These, I'm not absolutely certain what I'm going to do with these. I want to put them together, obviously. But I spun them so thinly because I wanted to make a fingering weight 3-ply, true 3-ply, that I can't just 2-ply these together. It's going to make like a really, really, really thin fingering or a lace weight. So my thought is, since Yarn Jam is going to be at Yarn Centric, I may be able to find a suitable color to buy, and I will be able to 3-ply all of these together, like a nice teal or this rusty color in here. I'm pretty sure that she has a rusty color like this. I may be able to put these together, which would be really cool. So if I'm able to do that, that will give me enough yardage, and I'm going to segue into the next section of future plans. If I can find another braid that will go with these yarns, I will be able to have enough yardage to make the pressed flowers cardigan. So this is the Jill Draper Make Stuff Barstow in the color Black Walnut that I was talking about in episode 3.5, I believe, the Knit and Chat. And I said I wanted to make them a no cardigan. And I still really want to make them a no cardigan, but I don't think that this will work. Not only do I not have enough yardage, I would need to pair it with a mohair. And because mohairs are, or another lace weight yarn, because generally those are on the pricier side, right now that's not going to work for me. I do have enough yardage for this to be the main color of the press flowers cardigan. And then I can use this as the contrasting color in the flowers and just make it hand spun. And I think that will look really beautiful. So that's the plan. Press flowers cardigan if I can find a braid of yarn that will go well with these, because I don't want to just chain ply and have one be way more stripy than the other. I don't think that that will look nicely. Since I spun this one straight from the braid, I'm going to have longer repeats of my colors than this one, which I split into 3 pieces. So that's that. I also in the Knit and Chat talked about this, which is the West Yorkshire Spinners BFL DK, BFL Fleece DK. It's a beautiful like royal blue. I'm not sure the colorway name right now. It's a number, so I don't keep that in my brain. I said I was going to do my own design with this. I'm just not killing it with my designs right now. I don't think that they're inspired. I don't think they're where they need to be. And I can show you a couple flops if you guys are interested. So that idea is on the back burner for right now. I have 5 of these, which is enough to make the Midland cardigan. And I'm just really in my cardigan era. I just really, really am loving the cardigan. So I think I'm going to make the Midland cardigan by Laura Penrose with this yarn. And I'm pretty excited about that. I do think that because this is such a bold color, having it in a cardigan where I can wear all black under it and like kind of mute it down a little bit will be my best bet, because this is a lot of color for me. So that's exciting. And then I was looking through my yarn to sell. I have like a little bag that I keep that I can put in a D-stash group or sell on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And this is one of my favorite all-time yarns. This is Alta Truth. And the reason why it was in my sew pile, which is like a sport weight yarn, was because this color. This color is not for me. It washes me out. I do know that. But I love it. I have knit other sweaters and hats and everything with it before. And I think it's really nice. And I have 4 of these. So I want to do something with this. And if I hate the color on me, I will just over dye it. I have a couple things in mind. One of them is by Kay Hawkins, which is Knit for the Soul on Instagram and on Ravelry. I do not think she gets enough credit for her designs. They're beautiful. I don't remember the name of the Henley I'm thinking about off the top of my head right now. I think it's called the Coastal something, but again, I will link all this. I always link everything in the description, and if I remember, I'll put it across the screen as well. So if it sucks, I'll over dye it, and if it really sucks, I'll over dye black. It'll be fine. So that's that. I know I spoke about the Heritage Quilt Cardigan in my Knit and Chat. I have decided to scrap that project. I really want to make it. I think it's beautiful. I do not have, I just don't have the patience to be making those squares right now. For whatever reason, they irritate me. I do not like the yarn that I bought for that cardigan. And I think I just need a reset. If I were to cast it on again, I would cast it on a different yarn. And I would also do it in Intarsia, I think. And I would map out all the colors I wanted to use beforehand, and I would just knit it all together. So from bottom to top, I would just knit back and forth across all the squares. And I think that that would be a lot more, it is a lot more tedious, right? Because you're not just having individual squares. But for me personally, I think that that would be just better for my knitting style. So that's a future plan, but that's a far future plan. I don't have anything like pressing. I did read Creatures of Chaos, and it was great. I showed that to you in my knit and chat. I got a special edition. I think it's beautiful, and the book was really good. I would give it 4 stars. I liked the characters. I liked the pacing for the most part. I thought that, you know, there's a trials element, which I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a book with trials in it. I love them. I like the characters. There's kind of like a little love triangle going on. I enjoy that. I would say the book was just really good, and I'm excited to read the next one. There was the ending was chaotic, and not in a like a Sarah J. Maas, like everything is happening at the end and it's crazy chaos. It was a little chaotic and a little confusing, disorganized, but I think that that was the lead up to the cliffhanger, and that when we pick back up, everything will make more sense. So, hi everyone, it is Editing Kristen here. So I was watching the video back doing my edits, and I realized that the last like 3.5 minutes of my video had no sound because my microphone died. So what I was saying was not all that important, but I did want to come on here and just say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you're finding peace and joy in whatever you're crafting, but it's also totally okay if you're not right now. I'm in a season of life where things are just not going the way that I really hoped that they would, and my crafts are not really working out. They're not bringing me that much joy, but I think that's all part of the journey, and I'm gonna find my way back to it, and I know you will too. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna shut up now, and we're gonna roll the ply ball montage. All right, bye. Thank you. Okay, so I have this little, it's like a dog ball, like a little tiny baby dog. It's, oh, sorry Nala, it's squishy, so it makes a good center for my ply ball. So I have this in my hand. I'm going to grab the end of, if I can find it, sometimes I put this on too well. I'm going to grab the end of this, and I'm going to take about, I don't know, 8 inches, and then wrap it around itself and tie a knot. That's just how I do it. There's a couple ways to do this. I find that this is the easiest way. So now I have a loop on the end of my spun single, and I'm going to put that loop around this. I have the break band. Let me show you. I just put it around the break band. Okay, I'm gonna let that fall for right now. I forgot to clamp this down. It's gonna make everything more messy, but it does really help me, so I am gonna do that. So now we're clamped down, we're not going anywhere, and we have our loop around our break band. So I'm gonna take the loop in my hand, and with my single, I'm gonna make another loop and put that new loop around the break band. And I'm gonna just pull until I get to where I made the knot. The knot is going to be the end of my yarn. And I'm gonna take that knot end and just wrap it around this Kong ball. Okay, now I'm to the point where it's taut,
So I'm going to take this loop, take it off, and pull a new loop up and through. Now this is kind of hard with a Tweety yarn because it gets stuck. Now I'm just going to pull back very gently, and I'm going to make a chain as long as I want to. I'm keeping tension. No, like, honey, you have to move. Mommy's going to walk here. Yeah, can you move? Good girl. And now I'm gonna wrap this around my Kong ball. If I get any pigtails, I'm just gonna smooth them out. This is gonna be difficult because it's tweed, and that just is what it is. Now, when I get to the point where I can't really wrap anymore, I'm gonna take that loop off, make a new loop, and go back. Because I've got to make caspettes, which are Greek meatballs, for Easter today, and in order to do that I have to grate an entire onion, and my hands are going to smell like onion for the next million years. So I'm trying to do this before. I'm sorry, you're crooked, but you know, YOLO. I'll change the angle at some point and drop mine Oak Island in the background. But yeah, I gotta get this done as quickly as possible, and it's really, really thin and tweedy, and it's taking forever, but let's try. Chain ply. We have three strands of the single, and two of them are going in one direction, so these two are going that way, and then one is going this way, so that's why it's chain ply. And I love the yarn that this makes. It's a really bouncy 3-ply, so love it. And I'm just gonna start wrapping and going back and forth and walk.